The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It reveals a chilling story of terror, murder, and unknown evil that shocked even experienced real-life paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren. One of the most sensational cases from their files. It starts with a fight for the soul of a young boy, then takes them beyond anything they have ever seen before. I am a huge fan of the Conjuring films. It is one of my favorite horror franchises out there. There honestly hasn't been anything that's been quite as captivating and quite compelling as the stories that they have been able to portray. Some spin-offs have been a huge miss, but majority of them I feel like have been really, really solid. So when it came to The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, I was pretty excited for this film. And I gotta say, it is a good film overall. The one thing that I was skeptical about, and I kind of was right, was that James Wan took a step away from this project from being the director. Because he directed the first two movies, and they were so solid. You do kind of miss his eye on this film. But besides that, from somebody who made The Curse of La Llorona to The Conjuring 3, they didn't do too bad of a job for a transition. Okay, now let's start talking about the things that I really, really enjoyed about The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. This premise that they bring up in this film has a very strong opening, and I really thought it was truly quite compelling between the characters of Arnie and David. And when you have a third movie in a franchise, you do kind of have to shake it up a bit. So when it comes to this film, yes, there is a house, but it's not necessarily about the house itself or there is a demon in the house. It's more about a curse, a witch, Satanism, all that jazz. And demons are still involved, but it's just a very different take compared to the other two films. Some of the things that they try to do different in this movie isn't as solid as I think they wanted it to be. Another thing that I really, really loved about this movie was Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga. They are still, yet again, phenomenal as Ed and Lorraine Warren in this horrifying franchise. And this is the thing that I really appreciate about this movie, is that they never forget about the pillar and the heartbeat of this franchise. Their love for each other, their relationship, their dynamic, it's just so unique, and I haven't seen a relationship portrayed in a film like this, and specifically a horror franchise, in such a way that is so compelling and so moving. And for a horror franchise, for specifically a titled movie called The Devil Made Me Do It, I love how there's still a happy ending. There's still a hopeful ending, that love wins and that you can still bring down the devil throughout any circumstance if you have faith. And the last thing that I really enjoyed about this movie was that the scares are somewhat effective and well crafted. I thought that they did a really good job with some of the technical aspects when it came to this film. The silent technique is very good, it's very eerie, but they do overuse that technique quite a lot in this movie. And now we're going to move into the things that just didn't quite work for me with this film. Some of the scary scenes in this film are, like I said, overused, and it just becomes really predictable and somewhat stale. And by stale, I mean this. It's just, when it comes to The Conjuring, you think of iconic scenes like the nun painting scene, or the hide and go seek clap clap scene. These are what make the film so intense and creepy and unique. But with this movie, they don't really have one of those scenes. And maybe that's just my fault. Maybe I'm having too much anticipation. When it came to this movie, I was looking for something like that. But there really wasn't anything like that in this movie. And to be honest, some of the trailers kind of gave away some of the best scares. And the last thing that just didn't work for me was the pacing sometimes is kind of jumpy. It goes from a demonic witchcraft movie to a court hearing film. By the way, I was kind of disappointed with that. The whole court hearing, because in the trailer it made it seem like we were going to get some very interesting scenes with maybe Ed and Lorraine Warren defending against the plea for demonic possession. I feel like that would have been very interesting and something that we haven't really seen in a movie in a long time, or maybe quite honestly ever. But besides that, it just would have been cool to see that. But I digress. And here's the thing, the elements that they portray, some of them work pretty well, but then half of them just kind of halt the movie a little bit. Overall, I did have a really good time with The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. It is not boring at the slightest. With that being said, I'm going to give The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It a 7.5 out of 10. Thank you guys so much for watching my review. It really means a lot. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and also don't forget to be blessed.